Hello, this is Community Unity Now, the D. Tycoon Show. This is Bill Morton, President of the Rogers Park Chamber of Commerce, and I am Trudy Leong, Administrator of the Rogers Park Chamber of Commerce. Our very special guest today is Mary Lee Ahern, and also hang on just let me make sure I get her name correct. Mary Lee Ahern, she is the Disability Justice Mentoring Collective and Youth Information, Education, and Leadership Development Coordinator, Y.I.E.L.D. And we also have Emily Garmager, Youth Coordinator at Access Living.
We'd just like to thank Reverend Dr. Catherine Brown, D. Tycoon, the progenitor of this show. She started this show many, many years ago, and she gave us the reins during my first aldermanic election campaign, and that's been about 5 years now, hasn't it?
Well, it was in 2019 in April. That's when she also ran, and then that's when the two of you met.
And we call her Mayor Tycoon because she was running for mayor of the city of Chicago. Mm-hmm. She still calls me Alderman Morton.
Oh.
It's a cool thing that we do.
Yes.
I want to let everyone know that we have a job fair coming up. It's coming up, and you can check it out on my Facebook. You can check it out on the Rogers Park Chamber of Commerce Facebook page.
It is on August 10th. I think it's from 2. Can't remember the time, but it's 8 hours long. So just check out the exact times. I could check it out for you right now.
That's
but
a good idea.
Is on August 10th.
We'll give you the details, and there's supposed to be hundreds of people registered. The Rogers Park Chamber of Commerce is partnering with many other organizations.
With Carpool and also with Viral Resume. They're most interested in helping refugees get hired. And also, even non-refugees, please also register. And it's free for the potential employees, for the applicants.
It's going to be a great resource for hundreds of refugees that are looking to either receive their first job in the United States or excel their career, upward trajectory. It's very important. As the president of the Rogers Park Chamber of Commerce and Trudy as the administrator, we've hosted monthly job fairs and job fairs every 2 weeks at some points in time for the past 5 years. So we have a lot of experience with the job fairs. That's why we're asked to partner up to help all of the refugees that we could possibly help find jobs and become employed in the city of Chicago.
And let me pull up some of the slides while we're waiting for our guests to appear. And then we could give you some of the background information about Access Living and their programs for youth mentoring for youth with disabilities. So hang on just a second. And let's see.
Oh, please bring in the guests.
Yes, awesome. Thank you.
Hello.
Mary Lee and Emily. Welcome to Community Unity Now. This is a brand new season, so excuse us for the little tech issues. Okay, first of all, let's would you like to introduce yourselves and your official titles and what you do?
I'm sorry, but we can't hear you. We're having tech issues as This is the first show of our new season. We're just take a moment to work this out.
Yes.
I know you can hear us, but we can't hear you yet. Okay. So Trudy, why don't you go on back to go on. Actually, since you can hear us, could you just ask her the question.
Okay. What is meant by access living being disability consumer controlled?
Disability-led. So a majority of both the workforce and our board of directors are disabled, and we believe that people with disabilities really need to have their voice centered in conversations about themselves. Solutions about us need to include our voices as well in the discussion so that we're receiving the focus and equity that we as people with disabilities know that we need. So this includes our peer-led groups where attendees can really relate to their mentors.
How do you decide which mentors are paired with which mentees? What are the how do you connect them?
So it sounds like you're talking about the DJMC mentoring program, which is the program I coordinate. So we decide, sometimes it's based upon I might get a request for someone who wants to be paired with a certain disability, with a similar disability, or sometimes it's just availability, or I try to get their interests and likes and what they're interested in. If somebody likes basketball, maybe I'll try to pair them with someone who likes sports also, so that type of thing.
Could you give us a little bit of a description of the programs and what the mentors do for the mentees?
Sure. So we're going to talk about 3 different programs today, and one of them is the mentoring program. So DJMC is primarily for youth ages 12 through 24 who live in the north central or central neighborhoods of Chicago. And in this program, the youth get paired with an adult mentor who offers peer and mentoring support. Some of the outcomes we prioritize in this program is building youth confidence, self-advocacy skills, goal setting, and building a community for the youth.
What do you mean by a community for the youth?
So all the youth in the mentoring program have some type of disability. So it's building disability community. Half of the mentors do have a disability, about half do not. But so they get to see other youth with various disabilities. And, we talk about disability a lot because we're a disability rights organization. But that's just, that's one program.
How do you work with people who don't understand the needs and accessibility for people with disabilities? Do you educate them? Do you subtly say something? How do you work with that situation?
So before we let the mentors in the program, we do a background check. We do a couple background checks and, see if they are open to learning about disability and have a positive attitude about it. We try to educate youth with disabilities through the Y.I.E.L.D program and through Emily's fast track program, which she could talk about more too. We talk about, what accommodations are, what is disability. It's a little bit about disability history, language and etiquette and identity. So that's just one of our programs, but Emily could tell you a little bit more about her fast track program too.
Hi, yes, this is Emily. I'm the senior youth coordinator at Access Living and one of the fast track program facilitators. And this is a really great, pre-employment, post-secondary ed transition program. So like Mary Lee mentioned, we do talk to the youth about disability. Some youth are not ready to yet identify as a person with a disability, and that's completely okay. We just want to educate, empower, give them some self-advocacy skills, and also prepare them for the workplace. So talking about resumes, doing some mock interviews, and going over interviewing skills, how to be a good employee, things of that nature.
How do the youth get referred to you? For instance, you said that some of the youth don't want to identify themselves as a youth with disabilities. So how do they get referred to Access Living?
Excuse me.
Sure. So this is Emily speaking. Specifically for the Fast Track program, we work with a large number of students throughout the year, and a lot of times we are working with students directly in the classroom. So a lot of our time is spent connecting with teachers, social workers, caseworkers to help identify students with disabilities who may be interested in participating in this program. And then we do some outreach, to parents to explain what the program is about and see if their youth is interested in participating with us.
For instance, that's how you contacted us. You wanted us at the Rogers Park Chamber of Commerce to help you get more, to reach out to youth so that you have more youth participating in your program. For instance, if youth or parents or adults right now they have someone in mind to contact so that to participate in your program, how would they be able to contact you?
Sure. So all of our contact information can be found directly on our website, which is www.accessliving.org. And we do have a tab for our services. And so you can find us and all of our contact info on our youth team services page. So my information, Mary Lee's information, and then other program facilitators as well.
Mm-hmm. Well, let's repeat that information later as well for any viewers that happen to come in at the end. However, let's talk a little bit about how you started your work, your separate roles. How did you find your place, and how has your job changed over the years?
This is Emily. I can just start off. I actually, before working at Access Living, I managed a group home for adults with disabilities up in central Minnesota, and moved back to the Chicago area and really wanted to get more involved with youth with disabilities, and was lucky enough to have been connected with Access Living and our youth team. And I would certainly say, along with a lot of other people's roles, that things have certainly changed and evolved throughout COVID. Some for the worse, some for the better, but we certainly have become more accessible through, virtual platforms and being able to reach more youth even throughout the pandemic by connecting them with computers, internet service, connecting with them through teachers and caseworkers. So it has changed quite a bit at a program level for sure. And Mary Lee can touch more on that, I'm sure.
Yeah, so I've been with Access Living, it'll be 9 years in November. And with the pandemic, kind of learned that we can do things virtually and in person as well. So, and being accessible for, for youth with disabilities. And it definitely changed throughout the years.
Do you think that currently has society been a little bit more accepting of youth with disabilities? Well, for instance, when you go out into the field, do you have more places to go to bring you to job trainings on site and visits?
This is Emily. So from our standpoint, we certainly still see, some students and some folks who still are, not very well versed in disability and, taking pride in their disability, right? Some people are just not ready to take that step. There's a lot of, what's the word I'm looking for? A lot of shame still associated with disability. And so part of our mission is to kind of take away that stigma through education, through programming, especially with youth as they're growing up, and to really empower them to be leaders in their communities, get jobs, enhance their self-advocacy skills. Access Living does host trainings that's outside of Mary Lee and I's purview and our job description. But we do focus a lot on, public education.
So what are your challenges and what kind of outreach do you do for employment for people with disabilities? Do you reach out to the business owners? Do you kind of help them along the way? Or do you focus on businesses that are already well-versed with employees with people that have people with disabilities?
So I can answer that, Emily. So we don't place people in jobs at this time. We don't have a job placement program. However, we do, have the fast track program, which is kind of an introductory, dipping your toe in the water to what is a resume, what is a cover letter, what am I going to do after high school? Just introductory. But at this time, we don't have a job placement program.
I do want to mention, though, this is Emily. Through the Fast Track program, we do take our youth on worksite tours. And for that, we do connect with different organizations and agencies throughout the city. And so kind of through those tours, they also get some information about disability and how valuable people with disabilities are in the workplace.
We host a lot of job fairs. We mentioned this a little bit earlier in the program. Do you do anything with, not necessarily placement, but like kind of like immersion with like job experiences somehow, or like visiting job fairs or businesses or other nonprofit organizations as activities?
Unfortunately, we don't do much of that simply because we don't work closely really with employees or employers, excuse me. The Fast Track program is really just meant as a prep program, like Mary Lee said, just to introduce the youth to some of these topics. So unfortunately at this time, we don't participate in many job fairs or the like.
And your mentorship program, though, could you describe a little bit more about that and what the activities are?
Sure. So the mentoring program is for youth ages 12 through 24 who live in the north or central neighborhoods of Chicago. And some of the things that we do in that program are we set goal setting, whatever the youth wants to focus on. We do a lot of crafts, and it's not just doing crafts, it's time for that mentor and mentee to kind of bond, and it's a calming creative atmosphere. And then we try to have fun because we're a youth group. So we'll play games, various interactive games or board games. And it's for 4 hours a month, once a month, usually on a Saturday. And it's usually it's a time commitment of 1 year, but many mentors and mentees go beyond that 1 year because they enjoy it so much, and I've seen the benefits of these relationships. So yeah.
The youth, when the youth graduate from the program, do they come back as adults for further follow-up and maybe to tell you what happened to them, or maybe ask for additional help?
Yes. So, once a youth either ages out of the program or moves on, we do definitely refer them to our other programs at Access Living. We have a financial literacy program. We have a cross-disability support group and other services. Access Living does a whole lot. So we definitely refer them out and to other services.
Do a lot of your mentors are former clients that were the youth mentees?
So, we're very open to that, to youth coming back as mentors once they've gone through the program as mentees. Since I've been there, I haven't had anyone in particular come back as a mentor, but that's not to say that we're not open to it. We're definitely open to it and encourage it.
How do you see their leadership skills improve as you go through the program, the youth?
So anytime we always encourage the youth to, you know, to get involved. If they want to do a presentation about a summer camp they went to, we always encourage that, and not only the youth but the mentors. And so, yeah, we have that is highly encouraged, and just by it builds disability awareness just by being around other youth with disabilities. And we also have an advocacy department, and so they're welcome to get involved and kind of further fight for disability rights through our groups and our advocacy groups. At Access Living, we have many of them, and some of them, might be interested in joining some of those groups.
Mm-hmm. We're almost out of time. What is a goal that you set for the youth that you haven't mentioned before? And then, of course, please give us your contact information again before we close off.
Oh, so Emily, do you want a goal that they might set in the mentoring program, or?
Yes, in the mentoring program.
Okay, so they could be something as like improving their social skills, or it could be maybe improving on their study skills, or reading or writing or something of that nature. It could be personal. It could be, it could be study skills or just making new friends. Whatever the youth is interested in joining and or improving on, they can set a goal for themselves.
And then your contact information.
Yeah, contact information. We got to close up. Thank you so much.
My contact information is 312-640-2119, and my email is mahern@accessliving.org. Emily?
Sure. Yeah. My phone number is 312-640-2167. And you can reach me by email at egarmager@accessliving.org.
Thank you so much for joining us, Emily and Mary Lee from Access Living.
You.
This is Bill Morton,
Thank
President
you.
of the Rogers Park Chamber of Commerce, and I am
you.
Trudy Leong, Administrator of the Rogers Park Chamber of Commerce. Thank you so much for watching Community Unity Now. Have a good night and see you next week.